What's good, everyone? Today I'm reviewing Death Kappa, and we'll kick things off with my spoiler-free thoughts. I like this movie. I know a lot of people didn't, and I kind of get why. It's a stupid movie. It's not. It's pretty cheaply made, but I thought it was pretty funny, pretty clever. Um, when I was watching it, I wasn't really on board with it at first. I thought it had a slow start. It had a pretty bad first act. I'll say. I didn't really get it. I'm like, oh, this is bad, but there's some silly stuff in it that's kind of entertaining. And then I started to realize, oh, this movie is actually comedic genius. And I started like really enjoying it more, and there was more like just weird stuff and monster action, and I really enjoyed all of that. And when you get into like the third act, I started to think, man, I really like how this is sort of paying homage to Showa era kaiju movies. And when I ended up reading some of the reviews after the movie just to see what people thought about it, someone said it's more of a spoof. I'm like, yeah, that's a better way to describe it, as a spoof more than actually paying homage to it. Um, it still worked for me. I'm like, oh yeah, that's they did that in that old Godzilla movie or whatever, and now they're doing it again, but funny. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it worked. The monsters themselves, I think, are really well designed. When you put the two of them together, the Death Kappa and this thing has such a stupid name, Hangulus. It's a weird name. I can't remember it, but okay, Hangulus. When you put them together, they do not look like they fit in the same movie at all. But like Hangulus looks like a sort of a knockoff of Titanosaur, except I think he looks cooler than Titanosaur. And then Death Kappa is a really well made costume. It's really hideous, but that's also like on purpose. I think they achieved what they were going for with the costume design. So I thought it was pretty cool. The one big problem with it though is that when you get up close shots of it, you can see like the big mesh eye holes where the actor can see through. It's like this is such a good costume. Why is that the one flaw here? That's something that this whole movie does though, is that, and it's very clearly on purpose, that you can very easily see through all of the effects, and that's kind of the way it's spoofing slash paying homage to Showa era films, where yeah, like this is very obviously all model work, and that's like a background. It's not actually like the sky or trees or whatever. But they're very purposely bad. um, and all of like the city destruction stuff and the big fight at the end is cool. I mean, I really dug the monster fight. I think it's um, kind of a lot better than plenty of Showa era films where they just kind of like show the same three clips like happening, and then they'll like invert the screen, and then they'll reverse it or whatever, and then they'll show it like, oh, it's happening but slightly different, even though it's the same clip just played in a different way. Um, where those old fights where like they have a lot of them are good, but they have their weak moments, and this one was just like the fight went all out. I really liked it, and I enjoy how the two different kaiju have their own fighting styles. Where Death Kappa is has like his own martial arts fighting style, and then Hangulus fights like a WWE wrestler, and he's like picking him up and throwing him and doing body slams and stuff. They did a really good job of giving all the kaiju their own personalities. The human villains in this movie are very over the top. Just like they go insane with the acting, and from what I understand, those villains are like cameo actors or like famous in Japan or something. I don't know who they are, but that's just what I read on the internet. But if that's true, that's pretty cool, I guess, if you know who they are. And they did a great job. They definitely stole the show in their scenes they were in. Like the middle act of this movie just like was bonkers weird. Like the first act is like, this is relatively normal, kind of poor filmmaking, with a little bit of silliness thrown in, and then you get like just thrown into the middle act, and it's like so like insane. And then of course the third act is like the big kaiju fight. Before I get into my spoiler thoughts, I will say I want to recommend this to show it your fans, but at the same time, I know a lot of the ones who've seen it already don't like it. So it's this was a movie for me. I definitely like this kind of movie more than a lot of people. Um, I still don't think it was like a super great movie, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun for what it was. So if it sounds like something you'd like, then go check it out. But yeah, it's not for everyone. All right, now for my spoiler thoughts, I guess I'll start talking about some of the jokes. It is a funny movie. It just goes kind of like just does whatever it wants sometimes, where people will be dying. Like there's this guy who gets set on fire, but they can't actually do a fire effect, I guess, because this movie's so cheap. And then it's like an action figure of the actor, like not even like a stop motion model, an actual action figure. I guess I don't remember, did they set on fire or did they just do a crappy effect over it? I can't even remember. But it was just so funny to slap like the switch between the actor and an action figure, and they do it like a couple times. Like a group of people get stomped on, and then in the footprint there's just like toys. One of the running jokes that I didn't like is that basically whenever anyone in this movie dies, they like scream "mommy," they like call out for their mommy, and like every time it just gets annoying. It's like that's not even funny. At the end of the middle act of this movie, something odd happens where they blow up a nuke, like, and it the consequences are very confusing. Like all the main characters are there, and they all disappear for the rest of the movie. They're just dead, I guess, until the main character just comes back for a few minutes at the end. Like I don't know how she survived the nuke, but she did, I guess. And so it's just all about the kaiju in that third act because everyone died, I guess. Something I was a little disappointed in was how there are fishmen in this movie that were apparently made from dead kappas and then merged with humans. And those guys look pretty cool, and then they're severely underutilized. They're in one fight scene that isn't that good. It's like it starts out pretty cool, and then it kind of fizzles out. I think they could have done better with that. And then Death Kappa in the final fight pulls up like a smokestack tower and then starts swinging around like nunchucks, and then never actually uses them to beat up Hangulus. It was just so disappointing. It was going to be so cool, and then he didn't use them. It made me very sad. Anyway, that about wraps up my thoughts on Death Kappa. I liked it, thought it was funny. It's probably about a 7. It's not like fantastic or anything, but it was certainly entertaining for what it was. So yeah, thanks for watching.